Over the last 3 hours, we have filmed a dozen helicopters landing at and taking off from the vast US Embassy compound here in Baghdad. The aerial activity tallies with information in a letter which states there will be increased helicopter traffic at night time as part of, quote, the repositioning of forces to prepare for onward movement. The letter, purportedly from the top US general here, concludes, "We respect your sovereign decision to order our departure." But America's Defense Secretary has denied they are pulling out. So tonight it seems the US military may be shuffling its deck of cards, moving soldiers out of Baghdad to elsewhere in Iraq in an attempt to mollify their many critics here. The surprise twist came as mourning continued for General Soleimani. Over 3 days and nights, his funeral procession has taken in a total of 7 cities in Iraq and Iran and drawn huge crowds in them all. To the Americans, Qasem Soleimani was a terrorist mastermind with far-reaching tentacles. But to the Iranians, he was a hero who over 40 years spearheaded the expansion of his country's influence across this region. Very rarely does Tehran host a turnout on such an immense scale. In their capital, the people wanted to show respect for their idol and to show the world the depth of feeling at his assassination. This was a multitude of sorrow and anger, and the sight of the Ayatollah Khamenei crying was indicative of Soleimani's stature in his country. His successor as commander of Iran's most elite unit said Soleimani's work would continue with the aim of getting rid of America from the Middle East. Soleimani's daughter Zainab also addressed the crowd and threatened revenge. She said the families of American soldiers would spend their days waiting for the death of their children. While revenge was in the air in Tehran, here in Baghdad, these Iraqis demanded to be left out of the fight between Iran and America. Since the defeat of Islamic State in Iraq 2 years ago, Baghdad has enjoyed relative peace and quiet. The last few months have seen hints of a belated Arab Spring as people have taken to the streets en masse to call for better governance. Today, protesters feel Friday's assassination has brought their country to the edge of a violent abyss once more. This protest camp is about the expression of love for their country, and they don't want to see it plunged into war again. They don't want it to become a battleground on which the Americans and the Iranians slug it out, nor do they want to have to choose sides. They're on Iraq's side. For the most part, young people here have known nothing but war, and they're anxious to keep the little bit of peace they've had. We don't have a problem with other countries, said this man. We just don't want to be ruled by either America or Iran. This is Baghdad's Firdas Square, where as the world watched, Saddam Hussein's statue was toppled in 2003. Such has been the turmoil here since. It has taken until now to develop the site into a public park. The dividend from Saddam's downfall was post-dated 16 years, but now it runs the risk of being snatched away. John Irvine, News at 10, Baghdad.